It's about time. It's about time that I just created my own holiday because I'm crazy Newsom. So I created a holiday because I was a little late in getting to the date. So I missed New Year. I think I did do some videos, but anyway, there's New Year as a holiday. Groundhog Day was February 2nd. Valentine's Day, February 14th, and now it's March 1st. Well, let's just start at some basics. Some basics like, what do you know? What do you think you know? I know that sounds so pretentious. Um, have you ever like researched something and it just keeps getting deeper? I'm sure you have. And then you kind of look back and you can look back at maybe stuff you've done, and maybe if you have like a little brother or little sister, you can try to guide them or advise them, but you can do the best you can. But at some point it's just like, anyway. um, so if you have the time and the headspace to listen to me, uh, this will be my senior final project before I start something else. So I got lots of little stories stirring up for you. I mean, I'm not going to invent anything new. I'm too lazy. So I just I just research. And so my basis for Valentine's Day, I crack myself up. Um, yeah. So my basis for Valentine's Day is I just did some history research on Groundhog Day. What do you know about groundhogs? Most people might say what we know is the story about a groundhog coming out, looking at its shadow, and then predicting whether or not we're going to have more spring. That's kind of the basics, right? And then there's a movie, 1993 film, Groundhog Day. Most people, I think the general public does not know much more than that. Would you agree? I don't know. Um, and then Valentine's Day is supposed to be about love, and well, what is Valentine's Day about to you? Some of you might know the history of that, so I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly, and then move on. So it's March 1st. It's about time for my high school. It's New Year, Groundhog, Valentine's Day, all combined. And really, um, I have two circles up here because I think what I talked about before was like sometimes we have beliefs, and then there's facts, and a genuine true belief is when your beliefs match at least more of the truths that are out there that you can dig up. Um, so, for those of you who want to do some more research, there is a song about groundhog. If you need some more uh, music, it was from 1924, and it's just called Groundhog Day. But it was more about shooting them and killing them. Sorry, it was about uh, a hunting party in 1886. Clymer Frias, sorry, buddy, I don't know how to say your name. 1886. He was the editor in chief of the Puxatawny Spirit. He was also a member of the Elks Club, Freemasons Club, Secret Society. Editor in chief, he called the groundhog the beast, and he encouraged people to have regular hunting parties. And then he invited people to enjoy the groundhog picnic, which, yes, they did serve groundhog, with what was called feast punch, which I guess tasted like chicken. And so that tradition kind of died out. And so now it's kind of cute about this groundhog named Puxatawny Phil. There's a lot of debate on where the Phil came from, but it's secret society, so I couldn't get any more than that. Um, okay. I don't know how far back you want to go. Um, Constantine, uh, 4th century BCE. So I kind of divided up into like modern era, Middle Ages, and then for my own fun and research, I just went to as early as I possibly could, like the oldest stories I could possibly find. And so I went back to Brigitte's Day, February 1st, which dated back to way before 350 current era. Okay, let's tie that into Valentine's Day now. Lot of mixed stories on this one as well. A lot of confusion. Uh, some people will say like there was a priest under, I think it was Claudius II. It's in the movie Valentine's Day, 2010. I forgot who's in that. Anyway, Claudius II was the leader, and some people say that he was a priest who was imprisoned because he wanted to marry couples, and that they thought that the war that was happening would take husbands away. There's not a whole lot of evidence on that, but the story got repeated. Sorry to break your heart on that. However, he was beheaded. We know that there was some bad stuff. Anyway, where was I going with that? So he did sign love notes, but there's probably more evidence that the love notes, like the heart shapes that we have now and that we use, they were probably secret messages for another reason. And it was in the name of love, but not the romantic love that we have today, which is where the name Rome came from. And the name Rome came from Romulus and Remus. If you don't know that, then those stories get about, okay, so how did that get started? Romulus and Remus were twins who were abandoned, and a she-wolf saves them and nurses them, and that's how Rome became Rome. So you have, it's so interesting, you have like these myths that we keep repeating, and then there's some truth, and then more myths. So it's like it sounds like Lord of the Rings, doesn't it? It's like, sorry, I don't know Lord of the Rings that well. Something about a myth that becomes legend, a legend, or stories become myth, myth becomes legend. I don't know. Sorry, but the point is this, that iSchool for me is about genuine true belief. So you really have to want to know the truth, even if it's not nice or you don't like it or something like that. I think what's hard for me is to determine how much people want to know, how far the little rabbit hole they want to go down into. Because I can go pretty deep, but then I kind of frighten people. So I'm just going to take this a little slow, a little one at a time. But just know for iSchool, for my purposes, March 1st is my first Growlentine's Day. I'm just having way too much fun. So if you ever have the time, I've got lots more stories. So it's about time. Oh, and requirements for this new. Okay, we're getting closer. I mean, if you want to start writing stuff down, I would highly recommend that. But I know I've said this, write it down. Journal it. And write down what's really happening to you. Anything. It's doodle it, for iSchool. Anyway, you don't have to do any of this, but yeah. So the next one will be about fairy tales. And so if you know any fairy tales, just start brainstorming what you know. And if you want to go deeper down the rabbit hole, I'm your gal. Ciao.